Welcome back to another episode of Living the Standard. I'm your host, Brandon Hogan, and with me today, I have my first podcast guest. His name is Nate Weber. He's a baseball and softball hitting instructor that started his own coaching service business. He does private lessons, online coaching, and travels around to offer different camps. He's also an assistant coach at Loras College for their softball team. Let's get started. How's it going today, Nate?
It's going great, man. Appreciate you having me on. Love doing this kind of stuff. Again, you and I started out a long time ago together. It's just great to catch up and get you on your podcast and be part of this thing, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. How does it feel to be my first guest? Pretty life is made now, huh?
Yeah, man, it's an honor, man. I really appreciate it, dude. This is cool. Again, done this with some other people too. I've been on podcasts before, but again, just honored to be part of this. But again, we did camps a long time ago, and it's cool to be the first on your podcast. That man, hopefully get this thing going, and hopefully a lot of people hear this. This would be awesome.
Yeah, what we meet back in what would have been 2019 now, so like 7 years ago.
Yeah, if not a little earlier than that. I don't
Back
know
when
what the
I
exact was. I'd have to look up the date when we did
yeah,
the camp.
would have been right when I moved into the mall with you were an instructor for Eric Munson at that time, and yeah, that would have been I guess back in 2019. Crazy.
It's crazy. I saw a picture the other day of our camp. Our camp we did. It popped up because it was in the wintertime sometime, and just all those girls that we worked with, they're all graduating high school now. It's amazing to see them grow up and where they're at now compared to 2019 when they're little kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I enjoy looking back on my memories that pop up on my phone. And actually, just the other day, I was told Audrey Chick Fry and Lucy, your daughter, and Audrey, when they first came in to train with me back when they were in, I think, seventh grade, just a video popped up doing basic hops on an agility ladder, and it was just funny to see how far we've come and how far they've come since then.
Yeah, she actually thanked me the other day for signing her up for the year stuff because, well, when she's even little, I would do ladder drills with her just in my house. But then you reaffirmed it and taught her how to do it better because that's your job, right? That's why I send her you guys. But at DMAC where she's playing college, they had to do 64 ladders in a day. So and she's like, Dad, I flew through it. It was so easy for me because we set her up for success in that way to get ready for college. That was kind of the whole point of all this. But yeah, she actually appreciated it and she said thank you. So she throws that out to you, man. Again, thank you for helping her get to her playing in college and getting a scholarship for all that, which is awesome to see her do it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad those ladder drills have coming in handy now.
They always do.
uh,
They always do.
so I guess what kind of want to dive in to kind of what got you started with wanting to do hitting lessons.
Yeah, just dive into my story a little bit, I guess, with hitting lessons and stuff. It really started with my daughter. I just so everybody out there knows, I never wanted to be a hitting coach. I never wanted to be a baseball coach, softball coach. That was not my journey. That was not my path. So my background a little bit, my dad coached me my entire life in basketball and baseball, like varsity. He's our varsity baseball coach, right? So that's kind of where I was like, I don't want to be like my. I mean, I don't know if everybody else feels like that. I love my dad. Don't get me wrong. Don't hear me wrong. But I didn't want to be a coach. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I played college ball. I did all that fun stuff. Played semi-pro baseball. Played my whole life. So my goal was to just be an IT, and I actually wanted to be a pilot at first. Then I had a daughter. That's when everything switched. So I started coaching my daughter. I knew nothing about fast pitch at all, not nothing. And all of a sudden, yeah, the girl came along. I had to teach her fast pitch, so I started to learn some things, some different things. I actually started with something called the Hitting Vault, which is Coach Lyle, awesome guy on social media to follow, great stuff. And got to meet some of them and brought them in for a camp when I was working with Munson's. We brought Alexa Peterson in, but yeah, they started seeing what they were doing. My daughter started playing a little travel ball and started working with some of her friends. And they all kind of asked me, hey, can you work with my daughter? Can you work with my daughter? Because Lucy was hitting pretty well, and she was not coordinated at that time, but she could hit a ball. So everybody's like, what are you doing? So started teaching some stuff, and yeah, yeah, that's kind of how the lessons got going. But then, I mean, honestly, I started helping out that team. I was their hitting coach for the 8U, 10U travel team. And then Eric Munson saw me working with the girls at his his first facility. And, he was in the MLB for 11 years. And he came up to me. He's like, hey, we need to get you in my facility and start doing lessons at my facility. He's like, you know what you're doing. You have a good connection with the girls and stuff like that. So I started posting it on Facebook and Instagram and just kind of grew from there, like it was just very organic. I that wasn't the path. That wasn't the goal. It just turned into that. And now that's all I do. So I will quit my IT job and just do lessons and camps and kind of traveling all over. Companies hire me. It's turned into a crazy, crazy adventure, Now I'm coaching college. Who would have thought? So.
Yeah, so because I remember when I first met you, you had that other job in IT. So what made you, I guess, go start with that like kind of career in IT?
I was a nerd, guys. I mean, I played sports like basketball, football. I mean, I love sports, but I was building computers in high school already. So, like, I think I was a freshman in high school. This is like 1999 or whatever the heck that was. And I started building my first computer. And that's just kind of got into it. And I just knew computers really well. They kind of came easy to me. So the IT world was simple, but I actually wanted to be a pilot first. Like, I wanted to go in the Air Force and stuff like that. Didn't know I was colorblind, so found out real quick I could only get a Type C license for all of you that are aviation people. But yeah, it was that. And then once I kind of found that out that I was colorblind going into college, I changed career paths going into IT, and I was already good at that. So that was really easy for me to graduate college in IT because it was just something I already knew really well. So it made college a lot easier. If that makes sense.
And how long were you doing that before you quit that?
Yeah, before I got into hitting, that was like 16 years I was doing IT work for. So
Okay.
there was a period of like 5 years where I was doing both. I was doing IT and hitting lessons, and it just got to be too much. And my hitting was growing so much, I couldn't keep up with the demand. So then, bless my wife, that's so thankful for her. She's like, well, she kind of backed me on taking this huge adventure of, man, getting out of the corporate world and starting my own business, and or actually working for Eric first, but then starting my own business on top of that, and getting this going. Again, now this is all I do, so this is pretty awesome.
So Eric was the first kind of, I guess, start of the career with the hitting,
Yeah, that was my
because
first.
that was down at the sports
Now,
complex, correct?
yeah,
At that
yep,
time?
Sports Complex is where they're at, where K Zone is now. I believe it's K Zone, but yeah, that's where we started and started doing lessons with him. Yeah, he was my first guy that hired me. He just, again, thankful to him because he saw the potential. He saw what I had. Put a lot of belief in me from a guy that played in the major leagues for a long time and now coaching in the major leagues. It's like when you hear that from somebody, it puts you that belief in you. And I think that really helped me take my career to a different level, that I had an MLB guy's backing, a guy that did it and made it and was creating amazing hitters, and he saw what I was doing and he believed in me. And again, I'm sure with your career, like you probably have somebody in your background you can look at the same way, like somebody that truly believed in what you were doing, and it just fuels your fire, man. It makes you actually like want to keep going, and take off. And then obviously you do it for the kids too, and then you fall in love with it because it's something you're passionate about, So that was really the
For sure.
main one.
What type of what was your hours like when you were working IT and hitting? Because obviously working with young kids, I can speak on this. Very crappy hours, either early mornings before school or in the afternoon into the late evenings after school. So what hours were your like during the week?
Yeah, right away. It's crazy, guys. You guys, when someone becomes an entrepreneur or anything like that, it's awesome because you have this drive that you want. You love what you're doing. But I was doing IT at the time, so you get up, take care of your kids, 6:30 in the morning. I got to get them ready for school, and then it's off to my IT job. And then after my IT job for 8 hours, I go and do hitting lessons for 3.5, 4 hours after the 8-hour job. So I'm working 12-hour days. And that's just the lessons, but I got to take video of that, and then I got to go home and edit that, and then I have to make video of that and put it on Instagram and Facebook, and then, people are calling you, texting you, it's you're a one-man show and you're trying to do it all, and all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock at night and you're finally finishing your editing or whatever you're doing for your videos, and then you start all over the next day. So I mean, you're really working. I think when I first started, it was probably 13, 14-hour days. When you look back at it with all of it, so it was a lot. It was a lot, but I was driven. I was passionate. I was loving what I was doing. I was younger, so my body handled it a little better, and I was so you want your kid to do well, so I was really pushing for my daughter. I did it for her, so I knew I could do it. But there was a lot of time invested in it. And again, it kind of grew organically, not thinking it was going to become what it became. And then, I got to that point where it was like, okay, I can't do both because there's just too much, and I have to choose one or the other. And I chose the hitting life, just doing lessons.
How tough a decision was that to quit the career that you were in for, would you say, 15 years?
Yeah, 15, 16 years doing IT. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's, again, having self-belief. I think in anything you do, self-belief is huge, right? Where if you don't truly believe you're good at something or great, you're going to have doubts, and then you're not going to make that big jump. It was a hard decision, but people, even I talked to others that were in the business. I was at the Telegraph Herald, working for Woodward Communications, doing IT all over the 12 different businesses I had to do IT for. But just talking to the managers, they're like, you're young, do it now, do it now, do it now. Everyone kind of pushed me into it, as in they all it's funny talking to older people, they all regret not taking that step, and then they get stuck in the corporate world and they're like, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that. So it was a lot of people, talking to a lot of people and just figuring out my own head. It was scary though, because you're giving up your insurance. You have kids you got to take care of. You're giving up all this stuff that the corporate world does provide for you. And you have a very 8 to 5 job. You know your hours. You know exactly. And when you become an entrepreneur, all that's unknown. You don't know what it is. You have no idea how it's going to go, if it's going to be successful or not. But if you're passionate about what you do, you're going to be successful. You're going to have failures. You're going to make mistakes. I made tons of mistakes in my early career with hitters, just teaching them maybe something wrong, or I just didn't see the swing as well as I do now after working with hitters this long. I think I'm 12 years into instruction. But it's just, that self-belief is everything, and just communicating with others and having backing by my wife. I mean, I was blessed that she had a good nursing job, so we just went on her insurance instead of mine. But it was a scary jump, because again, we had 3 kids, had to make that move, and all of a sudden it was all worked out. I mean, honestly, now I have more free time than ever before. I get to kind of do my job as I want to. I do the Loras College coaching. They pay me, but I took a huge pay cut because I love it. I want them to hire other instructors or other coaches that they can have, and more stuff for the girls. That's kind of something I like to give back to. And it's been a interesting journey, but for everything with an athlete or a business person, self-belief is everything. You have to believe in what you're doing, and be passionate about it.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah, it does, man. Big time.
Don't have that, then those 12-hour days, they don't happen.
100%.
How'd that feel when you did quit, and when you went in and gave, I don't know, your 2 weeks notice, and it was official that you were all in on the coaching and what you were truly passionate about?
It was scary. It was a bit of an unknown. I prayed a lot. I'm a man of faith, I guess. So I prayed a ton about it, trying to take the stress off my shoulders. Put it on God is really what I did with it, and that was a huge help too. But the business I was working for, they brought me in for my exit interview, and they said, how can we keep you? And I just flat out said, you can't. You could throw $1 million at me, and I'm not going to give this up. This is what I want to be doing. I knew in my heart that that's what I truly wanted, and that was a huge thing right there for me. Once I knew this is what I was doing, bam, there's no turning back. You can't turn back from it. I committed to that process, and I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was building it. I'm I had to go. You have to go all in. You just have to believe in it. I'm sure same time as. I ask you the same question. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, I mean that was my only option that I had on my mind, that if I was going to do this, I was going to dive all in. And because from day one, from as far as I can remember, like this, I wanted to own my own company and had the idea of bar raising fitness. So I was like, this is the moment. I was a little younger than what you were when you made the move. So that helped a little bit, where knew I was only 22, and knew that I had plenty of time to still make mistakes and still kind of get my feet back under me if those mistakes happen. So didn't really look at those as negatives that might pop up that kept me scared from taking the leap. But yeah, that was my approach to that. I just had to dive all in. I didn't. So this is going to be something I was going to ask you too, like about not going to college for something like this. And like same with me, I dropped out of college, didn't have any knowledge in the training industry and coaching young kids, coaching individuals, totally different ball game than actual training. I think I look at those two pieces as kind of separate skills people have. You can train well, or some people coach well better than they can train, and vice versa. So learning both of those, I just knew, like, that's where my confidence was, that I knew I had that self-belief that I was going to learn. I was going to figure it out. I was going to dive into the books on my own, podcast on my own, trial and error. Um, how was that with you not going to college for something like this, not having a degree, a coaching degree? Where'd you find that confidence in like your hitting, and again, that confidence in being confident enough to take that leap?
Yeah, again, I go back to Munson. That was a big deal. Again, just having a guy like that just say those kind of things to me, that he believed in what I was doing. He's like, "You're doing a great job." But I mean, I would take time, and when I didn't have a lesson, I'd go over, then sit by Eric and just listen. There's a big quote I like to use a lot: "Shut your mouth and open your ears." Like that's a big part of learning. It just is. You have to. I never want to be the smartest person in any room I enter. I never do. I want to hear what people have to say. I try to listen. I want to keep learning the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to learn what not to do for some hitters, and I want to know what works for some others. There's a million different techniques out there, and there's just not one that works for everybody, because everybody has different body style. Everybody has different movement patterns, right? That's why I tell all my hitters to go work with guys like you, because you're going to get the best out of them, right? And I learned that by working with you. We did camps together, and just listening to what you had to do, or you had to say, and I'm like, this is a huge piece of the puzzle, was listening to other people. Like, if you're not willing, if you enter a business and you think you know better than everybody, you're going to fail. Promise you. If you think you're the best out there and you know better than anyone, you're going to fail. You have to listen to others. Again, don't have to listen and do what they say, but you have to listen and learn from what they're saying, if it works, if it doesn't work, if it's your style, not your style. And then you just keep reading, like you said, new books. You have to read, watch other people online. Like for me, Instagram and Facebook, like you do, seeing what other people are doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them. And then, using your own creative techniques on what like I didn't learn anything about Adobe or any of that stuff, how to create. So I was just using Instagram stuff, and, it's just trial by error. It really was. I mean, some posts you get one like, and you're like, what the heck? I thought that thing was going to go viral. That was the best information. I gave you gold, and nobody liked it. And then you do the dumbest thing in the world, and all of a sudden you got 1 million views, and you don't even know why, and all of a sudden Instagram's paying you for it, and you're like, what is?
Yeah.
None of it makes sense. But you just keep posting, and you're just showing kids do what they do and how we train and why it works for all these kids. And I mean, I've gotten so many kids to college now. Same with you, right? It's like we've trained all these great athletes to get to college and get scholarships, D1, D2, D3, JUCO, and I think it's because you and I have always had that philosophy. We've talked enough that we're willing to listen to others, and we never enter a room thinking I'm better than anyone or I know better than anyone. And it's just, I don't know. I think that's how you truly grow. I always was willing to listen to others and go from there. So that's really the biggest part of that.
Yeah, it's kind of a unreal, going back to like social media, kind of a unreal moment when we had our first video kind of go viral and reach 1 million views. And it was funny because it's like I posted it like a couple months before it actually went viral. So like it was on our feed for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden I kept getting notifications that broke 100,000 views, 200, half a million, a million views. It's like just so it was didn't make sense to me, but just staying consistent with it helped a lot, and now has helped our social media, and same with yours, I'm assuming, just constantly posting and learning what's working, what's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Have you,
was,
get-
I just
have you
remember
oh,
that.
sorry. What was that?
Oh no, I was just saying, I just remember that first moment when we had a video go viral.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bizarre, and then like to me now, like there's a whole nother aspect of it because companies are hiring me, getting flown out to Vegas for the ABC or the NFCA, which is National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, and doing demos like that for a whole company, for an AI company, and then going like other companies are hiring me to go to the ABCA for baseball and talking about this bat, and then they I don't know about you, but again like I have a revenue stream of with my business, companies pay me monthly to just talk about the product, but I won't do it unless I truly believe in that product, right? But it's easy to post when you believe in it, like there's nothing
Yeah.
hard about it. But it's crazy that that's where my business is taking me. That people are giving me, they give you free product to try out, and then you try it and you love it, and then they're willing to pay you to promote it, and because it's cheaper for them from a PR standpoint. You're like,
Hmm.
wow, it's a really cool thing that's happened for me. That's a revenue stream, or dive all these different.
How did that get all? How did that first get started with you?
I don't know. Like I just people because I'm a hitting coach, I think, and they see my hitters, and then you get a couple from my views. I'm watching my messages come in, and all of a sudden I'll get a message from like Aeroswing is one that I work with very very closely. Love their product. It's like a bat speed training thing. It's like it looks like these pineapple things on this bat. Catches air resistance. It's got bend to it. Started as a golf tool. But he reached out to me. He's like, hey, he's like, I love your page. Would you be willing to promote this on your page and just talk about it? It's like, I'll send you one first. Try it out. See if you like it. And then we started talking and collaborating. I'm like, man, if I had balls to hit with this thing, that'd be awesome. So he made some of these squishy balls. And he's like, all of a sudden it turned into, we'll give you this X amount per month for one post or like, what do you, like how often can I do it? Because I coach college. I'm like, well, I can do about once a week, maybe, for this product. And that's kind of how it works out. And there's contract, you sign a contract, and then it might go 6 months, might be a year. And that's a couple companies are doing that with me. Because again, when you get results with athletes, I mean, they want you to promote the product, and it's just, again, extra $500 to $1,000 a month you're making, just on product endorsements and stuff like that, which is really cool. Again, it's fun because I love the product. It's not like it doesn't feel, none of this feels like work. Like you and I are
I was gonna
working
say
right
you're
now.
providing, still providing like your audience value, like those that
Yeah.
can't work with you, like
Yep.
because you have a worldwide audience just like us that like we want to share products that we like, or like companies that we use that people that can't come train with us, like how can we still help them? And that's the way I kind of look at it, is we're just kind of providing them value, and we're just getting a little kick off the top for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such a, like I know you guys use Legion Athletics, I think for supplements and stuff that you guys,
Yeah.
will share with others. And I use that product, and I've used your promo code before, and it's a great tool when I'm working out. So, if you can help your athletes out, and save them a little money while doing it, or make them better in a specific way with a certain product that works for them, heck yeah, like I'm all about it. Because I don't there are a lot of good things, but for you and me being social media people, or influencers or whatever you want to call it, that people are looking for advice. They are looking for help because they can't get with me for lessons. I'm pretty booked out. You're probably pretty booked out, and you can't get with somebody all the time. So, well, what's my next step? Like what can I do to enhance it? People reach out like that all the time with me, and I'll give them advice on products that I use that really really work, that I use with my own daughter. It's not like it's a joke. It's like, yeah, no, I use it with my own kid, and she uses it all the time. So, and she's killing it in college right now, which is awesome. So, it's
And
pretty cool.
you do online coaching as well too, correct?
Yeah, not a lot. I don't have a lot of time for it, but yeah, I have a couple clients in Maryland and Florida. I have one in California. I had one in Canada. I've had one in Australia. Like, they But I've kind of gotten to a point too now, like if you're going to do online, it needs to be very committed. Like you are going to commit to a process. I've done some nutritional stuff because I've gotten really into my health. Just learning a lot about nutrition with my wife. She's really into lifting and nutrition. So helping others out with eating right. Because again, being an athlete, it's not just, I got to go hit all the time, become a great hitter. No, you got to do all of it. It's eating, it's working out, it's mind, body, soul. It's everything, right? So you got to go hit, you got to go eat right, take care of your body, and then take care of your mind on top of the mental stuff. And like it's one thing that I've really taken off on. Like that's been getting bigger and bigger with the online stuff, but try to not do it because it will consume me. Like I have kids
Yeah,
I do have to hang out with and a wife to make happy. You're married now, right? So it's
almost.
oh,
Yep.
you're that's right. That's right. You're not quite there yet, but
Yep.
like you're engaged now. Like if we don't take time for our families and say no, we have to say no a lot. I say no so much now, which I feel bad because I want to help people with their game or their mental side or whatever's going on in their life. But I was always raised God first, family second, or vice the same thing. In a lot of people's lives, those have to be priority. It can't be my job, my lessons. That can't be over my family ever. So.
Yeah, and that's the blessing of being an entrepreneur and in charge of your own business is you can truly control your life and your schedule. You can control when you say yes, when you say no. That's like the main one of the main reasons why I wanted to be a business owner is I knew someday I hopefully would have a wife, kids, and I told myself no matter what, I was going to be there for them. And what's the best way to do that is be in charge of the business rather than working for someone else and them dictating when I have to be at work and when not to be. So I look at that as a huge blessing for both of us being entrepreneurs and business owners.
100%, man. It's been a blessing. It just has been. Like, get to make my own schedule, work when I want to. Oh, and the Laura stuff, that's kind of like, again, my fun thing. But my kids go to school during the day. I can work during the day. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, no, it's been amazing.
Now, when you did like start fully on your own, how did you start like building like your demand where from starting square one with no clients? How did you build it up to where you're at now, where you have to tell people no?
Yeah, I think as a coach in general, just having my daughter and coaching, or helping out. I was just assisting. I was like, I'll be hitting. I'll help them hit. I was a great hitter in high school and college, and pro. I was still playing semi-pro at the time, and learning some stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll help coach his team. So I think, and then they ended up being one of the best in the like they were top in the nation already, like one or two in the state of Iowa at like 10U, 12U, like they're really good and they could hit and everybody saw it. So that helped in general, just getting to know parents, right? So parents then have that trust with you with their kids, so their kid wants to come to you. So me helping coaching a team really helped just start it. And then on top of that, then like I said, posting. Sometimes it really feels uncomfortable posting. I don't like putting my own face out there. I don't know if you do. Like I like to show my athletes doing their thing. Like it's never been about me. It's been about my athletes, and I really focused on the
Yep.
athlete. So that was one thing that I would make sure I always did, and then I'd share it to the parents, and the parents would then share it to their families, and all of a sudden your name starts growing, and for me, hitting Coach Nate started growing. For you, Barry's like when they see their kids working hard or performing in some way or doing a drill great or a lift great in your case, right? It's like you use them on your platform because you want to. I'm like, hey, you're doing great. I want you deserve reward here, I think. So I post you, and then the parents love it. Again, it just starts growing from there. So I kind of built my model on that, just sharing for free. Like I wasn't charging anybody that kind of stuff. Like this is all free for you. Like I'm gonna promote your kid, and now as they get older, they're gonna get seen by more colleges. Like all this stuff helps, but from a viewership for social media, it just gets you more likes, it gets more followers, things just kind of grow and grow and grow, and you just got to stay positive and stay away from the negativity of crap that people are going to throw at you. If you're going to be a social media person, get ready for crap. Like people are going to hate on you no matter what. I just had somebody talk bad about me. Somebody called me and just told me about somebody talking crap about me the other day in a facility. I was like, wow, seen that person since 10U or 11U, like, and they're still talking about it. It's been 8 years, get over it. But, I was like, I always just pray for those people and say, yeah, it's sad that you still live in that world. I'm like, because I just want what's best for these kids. I mean, that truly,
Yeah.
that's all we want. Even if they don't work, if you go work with another hitting coach, that's fine. Like, I'm not for everybody. You might not be for everybody. Do what's best for your kid, and that's what I always tell parents. I'm like, don't need to talk about other people's back. Like just do what's best for your kid and have fun and let them enjoy this sport. But I try to keep positive with my social media platforms. I try not to get too much into the weeds of the negativity of social media, because people all the time jump on mine like, you can't do that drill, you can't do this. Like, come on, like, you don't even know what the kid's swing looks like and you're judging it.
Yeah.
Or how they move or any of that kind of stuff. So you just kind of take it with a grain of salt, brush by, and keep scrolling, and
Yeah.
make the next post.
Yeah, I love it. I've always loved when people, you can say like hate or say can't do something. Because yeah, even on our social media, every now and then we get people commenting, just bashing whatever drill we're doing or the way we're doing something. I don't even bother looking at it most of the time.
Yep.
Every now and then I like to see one and just send something back that's like educational on why exactly we're doing something.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just like around here and in person, I've had a client come in and say so and so's talking poorly about your training or coaching, or they're talking poorly about one of our clients. And it's just like use it kind of like a learning lesson for like the clients to like, you got to ignore it, brush off. Still in control of the way that you feel, the way your actions after. And clearly, if they're talking about you, I'm on their mind, or you're on their mind a little bit more than just them staying focused on what they need to do, like we're doing here, or you're doing in your workout. You're staying focused on what you can control, and you can't control those other people's what they're saying. And it's just, it's funny how no matter where you are on social media, how big you are, or no matter how big of area you are in here, like where you live, there's always going to be haters.
Yep. And like, I think for us too, I try not to compare myself to others, and I tell my kids, like, you are your own person. It's your swing. It's nobody else's. To the quote, like, comparison is the thief of joy. If you really want to be a joyful person, stop comparing yourself to others. Don't worry about the hate. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Like, you have to be able to ignore it, because again, it's everywhere. It's going to happen. And then the bigger you get on social media, or the bigger you get in your sport, more people are going to probably hate on you. That's just the way it is, because they don't truly understand hard work, in my opinion. From what I've seen, people that work really, really hard in this career or this life or this sport or whatever you're working on, they don't understand you. They don't understand why you love it. They don't understand why you work so hard, and they don't have that. And usually it's a jealous thing. Like, I don't understand why you'd be jealous of it, but people are, and it's like you just brush it off and move on, and keep smiling, keep doing you. That's the best advice I can always give. Like, be the best version of yourself at all times, and you're going to be great.
Isn't it funny that in school still, like even when I was in school, like people got made fun of for being a quote like try hard.
Yep.
How often like do you have clients, like you work with a lot of younger kids, high school and younger, like how often do they come in like talking about this topic, like with tryhards, or like people making fun of them because they're putting in extra work or whatever the case may be? Because I see it all the time with
Yeah.
clients coming in and talking about so and so saying something about them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It happens all the time, and kids in high school are very worried what other kids think of them. They just are. That's just high school in general. I remember I was like that in high school. Like, I was worried what other people thought of me, or even like they're worried about the clothes that you wear, right? So there's so much comparison. There's so much talk. Again, it's the lack of understanding, and girls that want. For me, I work with more girls than guys. I do have guy clients, but I see it more in the girls softball world than I do the baseball world. But yeah, this is where I kind of got into that mental training. I see it a lot, and it's how do you get past that? How do you grow? How do we do this? So I'm a big fan of the book it's called The Champ's Mind. It's a really, really one of my favorites. But it goes over all these champion, like Olympic athletes and Michael Jordan and Tom Brady's and of the world and how they got past all the noise. How do they get through all this stuff and how they persevere. And I read it with them and we go over chapter by chapter and we cover it. But if you're working with an athlete at this level for you and me, they're pretty gifted usually. If they're looking at colleges, the next part is how do you separate yourself, and that's usually your mental game. And then keep working hard. Don't again, that noise. You're trying to get them to ignore it. Like you're taking yourself to a different level. Like you're gonna be a 1%er out there, and that's why they really don't understand why you're trying hard, because you want something they'll never understand. You want something more, and that's why you're special. That's why you're gonna take yourself to a different level than everybody else, and that's usually the message that them understand that they are doing it right. It's the other 99% that just don't understand, and that's why they're not going to play in college. That's why they're not all state. That's why they're not at the level that they're at.
Absolutely. What do you see like the biggest difference, even from like you coaching at Loras, like the difference from like Loras compared to like your high school athletes, and then vice versa, like you train D1 athletes, like what's like the biggest difference that you see on those like different levels?
Yeah, it's work ethic. There's so many talented kids out there that you and I get super talented kids, but if you're not putting in the time, none of it matters, right? So like talent's God-given. Like you get everyone has different talents, but from an athletic standpoint, there's a lot of kids that come in that are super talented, but the ones that separate themselves, like to me, a D1 athlete in softball or baseball or whatever you want to call it, they're willing to put in 6 days a week, hitting or throwing or whatever they're working on at that time, and they just know that that's what they do because they love it. It doesn't feel like work. They love what they're doing. They love hitting. They love doing it. 6 days a week doesn't feel like 6 days a week because it's fun for them. The difference in high schoolers or kids that don't make it is they don't put the time in. They might be super talented, but they fall behind because hitting's not easy. And if you want to put in 2 days a week, you're going to be a 200 hitter in high school. And if you want to do 3 days a week, 300, 4 days a week, 400, 5 days a week, 500, 6 days a week, 600. If you're a 600 hitter in high school, you're going to play D1. That's who you are because you put the time in. Talent, puts talent aside. You worked with Lucy, my daughter. She was running like a baby giraffe when she was 7th grade. Like the kid could barely walk straight. She's flopping all over the place. She's slow as all heck. Just really uncoordinated kid, but she kept working, she kept lifting, she kept doing all of the speed and agility stuff we had you guys do with her. She'd hit with me maybe 3 or 4 times a week. But yeah, she put the time in, and now she's playing JUCO for, I think they're ranked 5th in the nation. She's hitting 600 in their first 13 games. Like, she's killing it. She had her first college home run just this weekend, so I was very proud of her for that. So, like,
Awesome.
Yeah, put the time in, and you're going to make it. But again, that's the difference. It's time. It's your effort, your attitude with it. But again, attitude and effort, like you said earlier in this podcast, those are controllables. You can control those things. You can't control the rest of it. You can't control the noise. You can't control what coach is going to say. You can't control what other people are going to say about you. But you can control your attitude and effort at all times, Do
you agree that there's a lot of similarities with like that type of mindset and approach with athletics transferring over into like your business, like you being a business owner, having that same approach to you running a company?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, I don't ever feel like I work. I love what I do. Like, I love it. So when I'm working 7 days a week and my wife's like, gosh, you're never home, or you're working so much, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even realize it, which is something I got to work on personally. I got to like pull it back a little bit and not be posting so much or trying to get so many lessons in, or, talking. Like, I like to talk to my players a lot. Like, I want to make sure that they feel like they're heard, that if they write to me, I do not want to like let them hang. I want to get back to them to make sure that they understand that I am listening. They have somebody there for them at all times. So that's something I do for my athletes. And then it's parents too. Parents want to talk about their kids a lot. So like, I'll even talk to the parents. Like, that's part of my business model. Like, I want to make sure I'm always open with communication with them. But yeah, it's the same attitude. Like, if you work really hard, I mean, I've never met an entrepreneur that was lazy. It's just not a thing. Like, good luck finding one that was an unsuccessful one maybe
I
that
was going to say you can find some, they just might not be successful ones.
yeah, so a successful entrepreneur is they usually bust ass. Like they just do. They go hard. They go all out. And they love it, and they want to keep going, and they want to get more. They want to learn more. How do I take it to that next level? What's my next step? Like I'm going through that right now. Like I'm trying to figure out where do I got to go next to take this to a different level. So like I've even wanted to start my own podcast. My brother and I talk about it all the time, but it's not in the cards right now for me. So I'm like, I'm gonna jump on yours all day. I love this stuff. Could talk about coaching all day and just talk to people about what they're doing. So it's just keep growing, never stop learning. That's the attitude and effort.
What keeps that drive for you? Like it could be very easy for you to get content with where you're at, but it sounds like you still have that drive to keep growing. So what fuels that drive for you?
Oh, good question. I don't know, man. It's kind of in me. I don't know. Like I'm competitive. I was born an athlete. I played 4 sports all my life. There wasn't a day I wasn't playing sports. And then I think as you get older, you have that competitive still in you. No matter what, because you're just used to playing sports and you want to be competitive and you want to get better. Like what's the next step? But then for me, on top of that, it's the kids. My kids really keep me driving. I want to do it for the family. I want to do that, give them every opportunity that I didn't have, stuff like that. So I don't know. There's that drive. I don't accept failure. If I fail, I want to why did I fail? And then I want to grow from that. And then I keep learning on top of that failure. Like you want to be an entrepreneur, you're gonna fail. You're gonna have setbacks. There's gonna be tough times. But it's that you never quit. You just keep going. You keep going because you love it. And if you truly are in love with something, you're passionate about it. Again, I don't see why or how you'd quit. And then the other part about this, like I know you, right? And I know a bunch of really cool people, like Josh Nagel, my chiropractor, one of my best friends. He's got his own chiropractic office. He's kind of that same kind of personality. So here's a biblical reference, Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron. Hang out with people that are going to make you better. Don't hang around with the slop. Like if you want to be a crappy person, go hang out with people at bars all day and go drinking and go party and do that. And you're probably going to have a rougher life. But man, you hang around great people and people are going to push you and people that are better than you. You're going to get sharper and sharper and you're going to want to keep growing and growing and growing with them. And then that just keeps going back and forth with people like that.
Absolutely. I think what you said about figuring out who to associate with and who to kind of sacrifice, I got to get away from these people. I think that's one of the biggest things that people, I guess, fall into, whether it's they're in high school, athletes that we work with, who they're hanging around, and then vice versa, like you and I running businesses. It's all about who you hang out with, and because you are kind of them always talking negatively or doing bad habits, naturally your mind's going to go to those same thoughts or doing those same habits that those friends do or so-called friends do. And that was one of the biggest, I guess, changes of my life, was almost eliminating everyone that I was currently hanging out with because they were going down a totally different path that I didn't want to go down, and realized that I was making very, very, very poor decisions with this group of people that were, again, just taking me down the wrong path than the path that deep down I knew I wanted to go on, and just sacrificing those, again, so-called friends and not associating with them anymore was extremely difficult, but it was the game changer for me. And that's what I try and kind of do with our athletes too, is getting them to understand that they need to hang around the friends that are helping them grow and not tearing them down. And that's way easier said than done at times, especially when you are around someone that you grew up with even. Did you find yourself in that situation ever in your life where you had to kind of make those tough sacrifices to get kind of where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, your friends are everything. I mean, I grew up in a very small town. It's all about the party, kind of stuff. People didn't get out of that town a lot until you got to college, I guess. And then a lot of people like it's funny to go back and I'm like, man, this town just isn't going anywhere. I'm happy I got out of that life, but again, and then the bigger you grow in social media or in your business too, when you are an entrepreneur, I feel like my circle's smaller and smaller. I don't have time for friends, and that's fine. Like I really don't care. I don't have a lot of friends I hang out with. I have a couple, and it's just because like I'd rather hang out with my kids. I'd rather hang out with my family. Like I'd rather be with the people that mean the most to me, and it was cutting out some people out of my life that were just super negative, and I'm sure you're the same way. Like I'm all about speaking in truth. Like I'm gonna tell you the truth, and it might hurt, but I'm not gonna lie to you. That's just not who I am. That's not how I'm built. It's not the person I want to be. So I'm going to be truthful in everything I say. And a lot of people can't handle that. They want the fluff. They want the fakeness. They want to be told they're great all the time, even though they're not being great. So, and I'm just not willing to do that. And that's kind of, again, you cut those people all your life that have the fluff or want the lies or want to keep drinking or want to like have all that stuff. But it's just not how I am. And I'm never going to be that way. So once I cut it out though, like my life just kept going better and better and better. And I pray for those that really do struggle with all that stuff because it's amazing what your life can do when you start telling people the truth. Again, you can do it in a nice way. You don't have to be like a jerk about it. Like, don't hear what I'm not saying, right? And it's just it's hard for some. I've told some friends some from probably hurtful things, and but it was to help them, because they were in that party phase and they're my age. They're in their 40s. And they're going crazy, still going to the bar, drinking, and then they go complain about this and that, and their life isn't fair or whatever. I'm like, I want to hear it. Like you can do better. You get away from that life. Maybe quit drinking. You have so much more in you, and you can, like I can almost point at anybody and tell you how great they can be, and what attributes they have that make them special. But they can't see that in themselves, and sometimes they don't want to hear that, and they just keep making excuses. So I'm not going to live in that world. And again, some people don't like me for it, and that's fine. Like I wish you the best, but I think that's how you grow. You and I are very similar in that way because that's why you and I get along so well. We've talked for years now, and those things haven't changed. So it's it was definitely cutting out a lot of people in my life as well. It took me a while to get there though. Like I think I was in my maybe late 20s, early 30s before I started cutting people out. And just not involving them in things anymore and getting out of some things and just things got better and better and better. And then I have an awesome wife.
Yeah. 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 I just think a lot of people can take something away from that, and a lot of people can or should just really think about who they're hanging out with and whether or not they're helping them take a step toward the life that they want or their goals. So, last little question I have for you. You had three non-negotiables that you would give another entrepreneur, someone looking to start their own business. What would those three non-negotiables be, and why?
Non-negotiables. Never give up is number one. You can't give up on yourself. Like I said earlier in this thing, you're gonna fail. You're gonna have huge roadblocks that get in your way, and you're not gonna understand them at the time. But every failure, everything is a lesson to be learned, right? So like, if you can grow from that, you're huge. Two is always listen to others. Like I said earlier, again, I think I hit it on. My big quote was, shut your mouth and open your ears. I do it with my athletes even too. I try to stop talking and I want to hear what they have to say. I try to listen to them. Again, when you truly listen to others, you're going to learn so much just about the career path. Like everything that we're trying to do, like how do I get better? Well, I have to listen to others and what they're teaching, but I have to listen to my athletes. I just keep listening to others and then never think, they'll make you never think you're the best in the room or the smartest person in that room, right? So that's gigantic. And then three, oh man, there's a couple of them I think I got in my head, but I want to see what number three actually is. I think what we just hit, we kind of hit it throughout the podcast, is surround yourself with great people. Like it is so crucial to becoming a better version of yourself. Like, again, iron sharpens iron. Like, if you got sharp people around you that are just killing it, man, ask them what they're doing, like pick their brains and just hear them out and watch what they're doing. And you're going to want to be better when you're around better people all the time. I think it's why, like, kids are always doctors. Like, a lot of them, they have a kid that's always a doctor because the kids are seeing that they see this amazingly smart person around at all times, makes them want to be amazingly smart. It's you become what you're around. You are a product of your environment. So again, it's get out of that. If you're in a bad environment, what is the saying for the, like, what is it, the flower analogy I was going to use? Like, you don't change the flower, you change the environment that it's growing in. So again, like, you're already an amazing person. You just got to find a different environment if you're struggling in this. So again, it's those three, I think, are probably the three that I'd go with. I'm sure when I get off this, I'm like, I should have said that one, but you put me on the spot a little bit. So
Yep, always.
yeah, there you go. That's not the point.
No, I love those.
What about you, man? Let's hear yours.
I guess I do have one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mine would be, yeah, consistency, 100%. I think it's kind of actually. I'm gonna start over. Number one, confidence.
Yeah, you do.
Just need to have the confidence in yourself because I believe confidence in yourself. Those failures are gonna happen. The setbacks are gonna happen. Life's gonna throw curveballs at you, and if you're confident in yourself, you're going to ignore all the haters. You're going to get through those setbacks. You're going to get through those failures, and you're going to find a new way to do things, and you're always going to want to keep growing. Next one probably would be consistency. Kind of falls into like the work ethic. Like, you got to be willing to put in the work day in, day out, 7 days a week. However, whatever time frame you have and how successful you want to be, it's dictated on how much you want to put in the work and how consistent you want to be. Just like with social media, like I said, like, it was nothing. We didn't get all the followers we did just because we did some secret formula. I just stayed consistent with it day in, day out, from getting 50 views to now getting hundreds of thousands of views on videos. It's just staying consistent with it. Then the last one for like new people. Last one, yeah, it is tough. I kind of stick with my I call them the 4 C's of a success. So I'll just kind of stick with those because that's what I've been living off of before I even started this, like learning these 4 C's, where one was confidence, then consistency, then you have commitment. So being fully committed to the process, fully committed to whatever it is you're doing, the work, the learning, committed to learning as much as I can. And then the last one is courage. So having the courage to either take that first leap of faith if you're just starting out, or vice versa, having the courage to continue to take those leaps of faith. Like, we're in a position where I could also be content with where we are at, but we continue to reinvest into the company, reinvest into our team, our services, expanding services, reaching all new markets. And that too takes courage to be able to continue to take those leaps. So like I said, I like those 4 C's because that's kind of what I've been living off of my life. So those would be my 4 non-negotiables.
No, that's perfect. Very organized. I like that. No, it's true. I mean, like, you gotta be confident in yourself. Like, an athlete in general. Again, our business in general, we teach confidence. Teach you how to be confident, how to walk into a room. Like, I think confidence is always huge for anything you do. And then, like, I always have to tell my players too, like, there's a big difference between confidence and cocky.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, cocky, you're telling everybody how great you are. Confidence is up here. You show it in your body language. You show it when you walk around. I tell my players all the time, when you walk into class tomorrow, walk taller, like, have good posture.
Yep.
Like, people are just going to give you more respect just based because you look more confident in yourself. You believe in you, like, and it's that it's just so huge. And then consistency and everything, like you said, Like you're gonna go work out and you want to lose weight, and you want to get stronger and bigger muscles. Consistency. Like
Hmm.
that's one thing I struggle with is consistency in my working out. Like I'm always trying to be consistent, and then all of a sudden, like Loras College season comes and my whole schedule gets thrown out the window, and it all changes, and you're trying to find a weave around it. Like consistency is huge. If you want to be great in anything, the sport, the business, all that. So, and then yeah, you had the other two C's. So I'll let. Yeah, I like it. It was good, but no, so spot on, man.
Yeah. Now, I do have one question that I just thought of. I'm gonna be a married man
Yeah,
here in June. If you had one piece of advice for marriage, what would you give me?
only one, man. There's so many pieces of advice I can give you. Never keep score. So once
Well,
you
that's a
keep like,
problem.
yeah. So
We,
like,
we, we keep score we have our pool series where we play pool out in the garage,
yeah,
and she's super competitive too. And we have our best of seven series. We always play series best of seven,
yep.
and then we keep track of total wins based on those best of seven games. And she beats me. Well, I think she has like seven total wins, and I have like eight total wins. And then
So
we have like our checker games. We played checkers. One match took us over 3 hours
okay.
because we were so dialed in. But those we keep score.
Yeah, those are fine to keep scoring because those are like dates, right? And that's so. Here's two pieces of advice: never stop dating. One, always date. When you're 90, keep dating because you're gonna change throughout your life. You both will, right? Never stop dating. Like always go on dates. Make sure you set that time aside. And then when you have kids, it gets even harder to do because you have to do it because again, you got to keep getting to know your wife constantly. But the never keep score thing is like, don't ever get into the mode because this happens a lot. Is that well, I did the dishes, I did that, like those kind of keeping score because once you keep like, well, I always do the laundry, you never do that kind of stuff. Those things will eat up a marriage real fast. Do it out of love. Like I do, you do the dishes for your wife because you love her. It's not because it was your turn. Because well, I did dishes 5 times this week and you only did it 3 times. Like those kind of things you never want to do in marriage, because you'll start resentment, and you don't want to have resentment in your marriage because they don't do enough around the house or they don't do this or that. Everything you do out of love. Like there should be no expectation of her for you. And I think if you keep dating, never keep score, man, you're gonna have a great marriage. Like those two things, you'll stay in love. You'll like, you guys will be awesome. I mean, I like my wife and I, we like to travel, but just when in Hawaii, we those are like our dates. Yeah, we bring our kids, but we make sure we go walks on beaches and stuff like that, and keep doing that kind of stuff. So, I gave you two pieces. Sorry, it was more than you
Yeah,
asked.
no,
Marriage
no,
is marriage is the hardest thing you'll ever do in life, but man, it's like the biggest reward at the same time. So,
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's
congrats, dude. That's awesome.
hard to believe that it's almost here, but can't wait.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. So.
Well, Nate, I appreciate your time. You have anything else?
No, my pleasure. Again, so happy to be on this. Again, if you guys want to follow me, I'm Hitting Coach Nate on social media. Or come watch our Loras College girls. We play all. I mean, we just started up going to Florida here on March 7th to the 14th. But yeah, you can find me Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't even remember all my handles anymore. It's like,
Are you on every platform?
no, I don't do Snapchat or anything.
Yeah,
I keep
yeah.
it to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter or X, I guess.
You got TikTok.
No, I don't even do TikTok. I got away from it. Everyone's like, you need to do it, and I'm so overwhelmed with what I got going on. I'm like another social media platform that's just.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, I don't want to keep posting. Honestly, like, I don't know about you, but man, social media is like my least part fun of my job.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it.
I know it's not fun,
It's,
but it's just necessary to have a good business. And you
yeah,
do want to share good information. Like, big part of my business, I love sharing good information.
yep,
There's good and there's bad out there.
yep. That's kind of one of the to-do task is find someone to take over the marketing or the social media side of things because
Wow.
I've lost interest in making all those posts multiple times a day, but right now I have to do it still.
Yep, totally hear that,
Uh,
man. It's spot on.
uh, well, I appreciate your time and definitely get you back on here again sometime soon.
Sounds great, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, everyone. Till next time, keep raising your standard.